Let's get to it. Let's get to it. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club. Actually, I like this part. You want to hear it for a second while you take a look at the spies? Hold on. The tongue that is honest, and that we understand how to be modest. Pray when she looks at herself in the mirror. She sees a queen, she sees a goddess. So we pray, show me the way. So we pray, some shelter and some records to play. So we pray, we're singing by pray that we make it to the end. Right? Pray that we make it to the end of the day. Every day above ground is a good day. So I will say, you know, as far as the chart of the spies, yesterday was a little temperamental day, but we did hold the range. And now today the S&P futures are up 18 handles, and we're still in this range, and you have to massage your positions. Some people will say, "Hey, Red Dog, how do you stay in this routine? How do you get up every day, every morning?" Well, I've been doing it for a long time, and that's the only way you're going to stay in this career. It's the only way you're going to have sustainability. So there are a few things that I do in the morning because someone was asking about it. I might as well let you guys know. I actually was listening to a video today, and they said you should not look at your phone in the first 15 minutes of the morning, that your inner psyche and your spirit is most impacted by the first 15, 20 minutes of what you see or what you smell or feel. So one thing is you really shouldn't have your phone next to your bed no matter what. That's another thing, right? If you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, you should not be checking your phone. You should not be checking what's happening overseas. You should not be checking the futures. Because if something is different than what you wanted, you are not going to sleep well, and there's nothing you could do about it. Keep your goddamn phone downstairs or away from your bed so you don't look at it. Another thing, so when I wake up in the morning, I set my alarm for 4:45. First thing I do is I come downstairs, okay, and I turn the coffee thing on, and then I grab a glass of water. I drink 16 ounces just to flush the system down. Then I go downstairs, I turn my sauna on, and then I come back upstairs. I go into the the laundry room. I give Kaden some water, which is my dog. I give her some food. By that point, she knows I'm up. She comes downstairs. I give her a biscuit. I rub her head a little bit because she's my girl. I love her. Puts me in a good mood. Then I grab my coffee. I sit at the front table. And then it's already been 20 minutes. I turn my phone on. Okay, and I look at what happened in Asia. I look at what happened in Europe. I look at what our futures are doing. I go through some tickers. And by that point, my mind and everything is settled down. You're not impacted by the first time you wake up your eyes and say, "Oh my God, the futures are up 20 and I'm short," because I thought Israel was going to bomb Iran and we had a bad day yesterday. And then all of a sudden you're frazzled. So settle down, little doggies, and then get ready for the day. Anyway, so with that being said, I'm not preaching. I just try and tell you some things that work for me because I've been doing this for a long time, and some of you haven't been doing it as long as I have. So anyway, so you go back here. This is the chart of the spies. Here is the range. We're still above 565. 565, 574. We've been in this range now for a while. Futures are up like 17. They came back from China in a selling mood, so the HK is down about 10%, which is fine. People didn't want to chase it up there, so we'll see what happens here where we settle, but there should be a pretty good spot, to potentially buy. If you go look here right now, the FXI, by the way, is down 10%, which is only 3. So this is 33. So what this is doing is filling this gap. I would say if the FXI were to work its way down towards like this area, this 3250-ish, then what you probably want to do is if you're accumulating the FXI, this doesn't matter. But if you're trading it, I would think you'd be friggin' out of it. And if you were rolling up shorts, you're getting a gift. It was very extended from the 8 day. And as I said, just because you're not in something doesn't mean you have to short it or you need to chase it. So at this point, this gap should get filled. This is 33.13. That's where it is. What I would do is I'd make sure you go out at least a month because it might take some time to settle out. By the way, remember when Japan went down 10% and then 5% was down like 19% in 3 days, and it took only a week and a half to come back. I'm not saying that's going to happen this time, but chances are, with the FXI hitting a high of 37.50, you could probably be a buyer of the FXI somewhere, into this 32 half area. And then you could extrapolate it. I'm not going to start getting into all the Chinese names, but it was due. Thank goodness. And if you remember yesterday, I told you it met the target. You're allowed to sell, right? Here's 37. I said a 37 is a much better sell than a buy. When we were here, I said we would get there. Not saying, I'm friggin' the best, but that's a pretty damn good call. That was your spot. And why was it? I didn't just make it up. This was kind of where it broke down from. So it made sense to sell, right? Here's my next target, 37. Anyway, with that being said, now we'll see, what happens next. And this is 32.50, which I just said. So this would be a decent spot between here to here to buy some for maybe better action in the months ahead. But let's talk about the US. Let's go back to the SPYs here. SPYs are up in this upper channel. We have the CPI Thursday, the PPI on Friday. The hot jobs report had Feds recalibrate. Remember that drinking word? I'll drink some iced coffee to recalibrate. That they're not going to be cutting 72 basis points before the end of the year. They're at 50, that's 25, and that's why yields are back near 4%. By the way, I didn't get to say hello to some of my dogs around the world. So let me see who's tuning in. We got Mike. We got Joe Repisol. What's up? Semi's in the house. That's true. Those are my biggest positions. But they give you signals, which we'll get to. Microsoft. What's Microsoft doing? Microsoft's a pain in the ass. Excuse my French. Oh, down another 2. Thank goodness. Microsoft's been broken. When things are broken, just because something has a name you like doesn't mean you could buy it. If it's broken, it's broken. What up, Mississippi? We got Andrew. By the way, get the hell out of Florida. If you're in Tampa or right around there, jump on a plane, come to New York City, come see a show. If there's no protesters, and the weather will be beautiful here. We got Marcos from sunny Spain. What up, my friend? Miss you, my Ben. What up, Jack? Hopefully you're feeling well. I owe you a Red Dog sandwich. SMCI is doing well. You had a day 1 yesterday. So anyway, I'm not just talking to myself. This is the crew. I got to figure out the kaleidoscope. But anyway, if you're on YouTube, I think you could talk to me. Talk to me, Goose. Anyway, and that's who we talk about on the 630 Club. So anyway, with that being said, here's the SPYs. SPYs are up $1.77, and we're still within this range. So my dogs are up early on the Alpha team also. They get to see what I'm doing. Bottom line is, I do come in today with some NVIDIA because NVIDIA made sense. I actually bought SMCI for the first time yesterday. It's overnight. Okay, I haven't done anything yet. NVIDIA's overnight. That means I took it from yesterday. And I also bought some SMCI 49.5 calls, and I also bought some NVIDIA 132s. I had the 125s. I rolled them up, right? Rolling them up is a term meaning like if I had the 125s and I bought them for 2 and there were 5, what happens is I then sell them at 5.5 to take that equity off the table, then roll them up to a higher strike where you're still involved, but you're risking less. That's what you call the roll up. Anyway, for me, it's second nature. I've been doing this for 30 years, but some people don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, if you go to NVIDIA, NVIDIA finally kind of broke through. Finally, it's been showing some relative strength and acting like the NVIDIA that I know and love when it's a go-to name like it was here. This was fantastic. Above the 8-day moving average all the way to 140. If you do remember right here, look at that red dog reversal. Red dog reversal, this 115 area. And then from there, it's acted very well. And yesterday, it hit a high of, we can put this here to make it a little symmetrical, 130.64. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see, if it gets to 130.64 and, kind of what happens next. But ultimately, I would think it works its way back towards this 140, and it should be front and center for the first time in a little while. The semis actually, held tight. What's NVIDIA doing right now? Let's see. NVIDIA we're just up $2, but something came out on Microsoft and dragging some things down, which is fine. NVIDIA's up $1.90. So some people actually say, hey, Red Dog, how do people know what you're doing with your positions? So just say, okay, here we are at 6:41 in the morning, and I'm gonna trim a little bit of my NVIDIA. Why not? I always trim when a gap is in my favor. What you do is let's see, I just trimmed a little. You'll see it flash red. Oh, there it flashes red. That's what the Alpha team sees. So they know that I took it home long. I trimmed a little bit, netted some money, and then I hold some. And then what should happen is, then if somebody woke up a little late, like just say somebody woke up at 6:44 and said, hey, what Red Dog do this morning so far? You could then scroll over it, and it'll show you that at 6:41 I sold a little bit. Not a bad technology for the T3 crew. But anyway, that's that. Let's go to SMCI real quickly. SMCI had a nice day 1. This has been a broken name. It's been a piece of mierda. You know what mierda means in Spanish? Well, it's a bad word. Anyway, this trend has been broken. Red dog reversal here, all across the board into resistance. And now finally, it broke above this because they came out with some news that, their cooling system, which has been a problem for the semis because it's hard to keep them cool when they're overheating with all their energy, but whatever. So anyway, this was one day. So I have some stock and I have some options, and that's going to help my morning. And then we'll see what happens with their 10K. But anyway, what's up? Oh, Microsoft was downgraded. First of all, look at Microsoft. Microsoft broken. Oops, what happened? That's not that. Well, a lot of the Mag 7 names are all broken. There's really not a whole sugar honey iced tea working out there. Like, look at that. Microsoft literally, had this upper wedge and broke right at 425 to get, if you were in it, out of it, right? You would think so. And then yesterday, I even put on some options thinking, hey, maybe it's going to hold this spot and be cute. And then it broke, and then I'm like, I'm out. And now this morning, you know what? Maybe it's worth a shot. What's this low here? This is 409. What I would do, so the way I handle this, the way Red Diggity Dog handles this, is I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to say, hey, it's Microsoft. Actually, this is 409, right? What I say that was low is 409. I'll wait for a 5, 15-minute, 30-minute low. So this is the way it is, okay? People are like, Red Dog, what does that mean? I'm like, okay. So here's Microsoft. It's at 406 down 290. Down from 441. Remember when I was like selling to resistance? It'll fill that gap. That was a pretty good call too. Anyway, it's not about the call. It's about the right decision at the right time, losing less, making money, etc. So anyway, so what will happen is in the first 15 minutes, just say Microsoft goes down to 405 and then bounces to 405.50. Now it's like 947. Now you have a reactionary low of 405. That's what you know. It hit 405. First time hitting 405 since here. Now, and it's actually even above 400. Then you buy a 405.60. Then you know 405 was that 15-minute low. You're risking 60 cents. And who knows? Maybe it was priced in and goes green and you make a lot of money. Or maybe market goes up, it doesn't go up, breaks 405, and guess what you do? You honor your stops and you get the hell out. You lost 60 cents. You're not rolling it down and cost averaging in. You're playing versus the level to see if you could create cash flow because that's what you do as a trader. Anyway, here's a level. So this is 400. It's at 406. And, see if it makes it holds a little bit here. And if it were to reclaim 409 after putting a low in, maybe, it would look a little bit more technically sound. Anyway, Meta, that was pretty nasty what it did yesterday. It opened up above 596. Wasn't nasty if you're in it. If you're in it, you probably trimmed it day 3 up. Why not? It made a little bit of a red dog reversal sell. So, people were asking where they could buy a dip. I was thinking you could buy a dip somewhere closer to 576, but you'll see. So this one's been acting special. It's been the only one that acts special. So people have been buying dips into the 8-day. So here's your 8-day. What's Meta doing today? I would assume Meta's probably up a little bit. Whereas Meta, it's up 3. This one would have been better if it was down 3, because you could have bought it in the hole, but whatever. Anywho, Apple's a pain in the butt. It looks like this one, I would think that some people probably went home short. What do I mean by that? Well, it broke below this small ascending channel. It closed on the lows. Here was your fake out. I remember I was long that day and got stopped out, thank goodness, because I honor my stops. I lose less. I make the right decision at the right time, not based on what I want to happen, but what happens. Say that 3 times really fast. And anyway, broke below. What's Apple doing this morning? Apple is so what you want to do is you want to see if it, if it holds and goes red or not. Chances are a lot of these things are still kind of bentish. I would not be chasing them. But anyway, just goes to show you that sometimes there's like memory and follow through, and sometimes there isn't. Right, Marcos? How's the family doing? Yang's up 41%. Isn't that funny? Anyway, so with that said, let's see what else. So let me just tell you, Dash, I bought a little bit on the dip. It looks still just fine. This candle was not a great one, so I did small. I'm hoping 140 holds. I think that it's going to hold here. My friends that follow this very closely think we're going to be having a $170-something stock by the end of the year. Obviously, the market's got to behave, but post earnings, that's probably, or that's their target. It's under 188. and there's a lot of room here. So I would stay with Dash. I did. I actually bought a little bit more of that yesterday. I also am going to stay with Reddit. Okay, yes, this was a pretty nasty candle, and Reddit is a little sloppy, but as long as Reddit holds this spot, I'm going to stay with it. Okay, I might even add, a little bit. Well, I was going to add on a weakness if we had it, but we didn't. I added a little bit yesterday. So yes, I am staying with those things. Those things are still giving me, a reason to be in there, right? The energy names have been working. This MIR, really nice candle yesterday. Okay, look at that channel. Okay, I told you guys about this in here. I think we spoke about this last week in the 6:30 club, and I added yesterday. I did trim a little bit, but I have more than I had coming in. Looks like at some point this big channel gets taken out. So anyway, this was a nice move. This helped me my day yesterday. And a sea of red yesterday, this showed relative strength. What's it doing this morning? Well, it's not really doing a whole hell of a lot. It's up 3 cents, but that's fine. It's fine. Anyway, crypto hit a little short-term peak. I'm going to buy a little bit more on this dip, manage my position. I've been in Bitcoin or IBIT with some size recently. Overall, everyone's talking about this October. But anyway, I'm not like a crypto crazy. Not saying you're crazy if you're a crypto, but anyway, I'll be eloquent. I did buy the IBIT in this. I'm going to buy a little bit more in the dip. If it could hold this spot, I think that this sideways move is still intact, and at some point it gets going. By the way, did you guys hear that FTX? FTX guys are getting back 120% of their investment. $16 billion is going back to the crypto community. They seized, I think, all the assets when Bitcoin was 18,000. That was way back here. Okay. If they would have just left them alone, it would have been fine. But anyway, won't get into that. So I think that was somewhere over here. At 18,000 is when they took all the assets. And then I think the government sold it somewhere in here, made a lot of money. So they feel like they can give the guys back 120%. So anyway, this is actually the weekly chart. You can go like this. Get tight here again, and then hopefully it gets going and gives us a nice, sexy move into Thanksgiving. What's a sexy move? That's a nice, fast, good move. But anyway, what up, MFK? So anyway, we'll see. And if that's the case, remember I've been telling you guys about this. Not that CORZ didn't have the oomph yet, but I think at some point this thing's going to take out 1295 and go. I've been in this since here, massaging, meaning sell some, buy some, sell some, buy some. Anyway. With that said, I would stay with that too. What else are we staying with? This ASTS is interesting. If you remember, we got involved, sold into some strength, and they had that ATM because young companies need to raise money so they can buy more satellites and do whatever the hell they do. I got out of a lot here when it broke. Right here was that red dog reversal. We bought some options. It worked out well. And I think it held in pretty well yesterday. Okay. If this can get above 2640, maybe the chart pattern changes a little bit, and it proves that it's going to build, continue to stay up here. This is not a scam stock. It's not an air stock. This is like, something that it could be viable for the future. I think there's some big money behind it. I would, try and stay with it. Hopefully this area holds and it gets better. I am still in there. It's not like these Chinese scam stocks. There is one that I told you guys about, this FTEL. I reshorted FTEL yesterday. From what I hear, they do like $2 million in revenue. They have like a $400 million market cap, and it's the same goddamn piece of junk investor who is in charge of this scam. Look what happened here. So I understand if you don't want to short it, do not buy FTEL. Look what happened here. Look what happened in this one too. Look at these scams. It looks like they're squeezing, and then the SEC comes in and that happens. Well, supposedly that's the same thing here. A bunch of my friends have done a lot of homework here, but anyway, just don't buy that. This is people everywhere saying buy FTEL. It's like some kind of gym equipment company that my friend does more revenue on in Short Hills. But anyway, so let's move on. So just be careful there. And then if you want to play the range in some of the other Chinese names, the real ones, not to put like in the same context, but like Baba, first of all, this is, if you're long Baba up here, you're probably walking in like sugar honey iced tea. What am I going to do about this? Well, what's Baba doing this morning? Baba is down 10. That's a lot. 108. Where's 108? What's this? This is the 8-day. This was probably when people started rolling up to short. This is what's this? This is about 106-ish. Here's the gap right here. Yeah, you're gonna have something to figure out. It's a big gap down, and this after 3 days and the way it closed, I would think some people would be long that night, and I hate when people get long something and it does something the opposite. It's like having 11 versus 6 in blackjack. You should double down, but then you get a 4. He turns over a 4 and gets a 10 and takes your money. That's not fun, but you have to do that hand all over again at another time. So this is 110. Whereas what did I just say Baba was? It's at 108. But look how extended it was. Whenever you buy something so extended from the 8th day after a big move, you're always taking a little bit of a chance. You're like an extreme momentum guy, and I'm a momentum guy, but that's a real momentum guy. But anyway, 105. This is 108, so it's right in the middle here. At some point, maybe like I said with Microsoft, but different. You buy versus a 15-minute low, and you trade around the position. If it's really weak and you can't handle it, move on. Anyway, remember yesterday I told you guys that my friends were shorting Tiger, TIGR. Well, if you shorted this with them, you made a lot of money. And this one was a short. At least this one gave you a red dog reversal sell. A push through, came below, was extended, and now this one is a lot lower. So if you did short this yesterday with red dogs, hombres, $9, you probably will cover. And hey, into this area, if you think that this Chinese rally is going to continue, this is a Chinese brokerage firm, maybe buy into 850. Makes some sense. Trade the ranges. Don't get caught up and don't chase them. Anyway, real quickly, let's go to the semis for one more second, and then I got to go. Semis have been acting better. Semis are probably up. I don't have any Soxal on today. I sold it yesterday, unfortunately, but I'll live. What's this high here? This high here is 250.60. 250.60. That is there. Here we go. Where's the SMH? Let's go back to the video. I just sold some lower to make a point. You guys cost me 30 cents. I'll live. SMCI, where are you here? You're up $1.30. Okay. Whereas, by the way, this is a lot of level 2s. This is old school Red Dog, old school. Read the tape. I have one set up. I like to look at the inside market, what's happening. It helps with my ADHD. So this is a 249.20, which is $1.30 below where yesterday's highs is. So there's some room here if the semis want to continue. What's the best semi right now? Kind of. This Broadcom seems like one of the ones closest to the high. So all the semis are up this morning. They gave you clues to be in them. If something said you had to be long something overnight, it was the semis. What's a Vago chart looks like real quickly? Well, this is where the high is. So look how close it is to the high. So this is definitely considered a best in breed semi, and see how it goes here and see if anything starts to break out above highs and shows a little leadership besides a range trade. All right, guys. I keep running over. That's because Red Dog has a runner of the mouth. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And again, you got to get your routine down. Okay, you got to be able to put yourself in a position where your mind is right so you can execute on the X's and O's. Otherwise, you won't be tuning in anymore because you're going to blow through your money. You're going to not honor your stops, and you're not going to know how to manage your position size, and you're going to always be chasing your tail. And I don't want to see you do that. When they post those videos with the dog chasing their tails, getting round and round and round, I get really pissed off because the dog's getting dizzy, doesn't feel good about himself, and I'd rather see him go catching a Frisbee. Anyway, later, guys.